Hi Aquarius, welcome to your July 2020 Astrology 33 reading. Thanks to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for more details there. As far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled a couple of Oracle cards for you guys and a Mudra card. So getting started with the main spread. Main situation position. We have the King of Wands. So this is actually a Leo energy, which for you guys is your opposite sign of relationships, partnerships. So for some of you, this can be saying that this could be asking you to step up into a leadership role in some ways. But for others of you, this could just be pointing to a person that you might be dealing with. Now, of course, yes, it could definitely be in a romantic sense since that is your 7th house, but 7th house is just general partnerships too, so it could even be a boss that you work with or something along those lines. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the 6 of Wands. So this is actually more Leo energy here. So this can be saying a few things. Some of you might be waiting on a promotion of some kind, and if that's the case, it might not take place for you guys until August. So there could be a bit of a delay around that. For others of you, this can just be saying that you might lack some confidence, and maybe also for some of you, you might have someone in your circle that might intimidate you in some way. So that's how that could be playing out. I'll see. And for some of you, this could also be a block in your creativity as well. You guys have that Venus retrograde energy in your 5th house, so you could just have a bit of like a writer's block type thing going on, or whatever creative projects you might be working on. If that's the case, that should start to clear as we move toward Leo season 2. Because Venus will be out of its shadow by then. Alright, in the foundation position, we have the Hermit. So this is another indicator that for some of you, it can be one of those things where you just might have hit a stumbling block around creativity. But for others of you, same thing, where maybe there's someone who might be making you uneasy in some way, shape, or form, whether it's intimidation, or you're just not quite sure you could trust them. Right? Maybe they're very charismatic, but you're like, yeah, I don't know. Like maybe they're giving off player vibes, for example, if this isn't a romantic sense. So it could just be saying that you're really trying to evaluate how the situation's unfolding, really withdrawing into yourself and thinking about what you want to do as far as moving forward with this person or not. In the past position, we see the 9 of Swords, which is Gemini energy. And this usually points to some sleepless nights, a lot of anxiety, just getting stuck in your head, maybe thinking over past conversations. Did I say the right thing? Did I do the right thing? Right? Looking over what they may have said to you. Of course, we're going to have that Mercury retrograde energy for a pretty good portion of July too, so add that into the mix. But given that this is in the past, I feel like this is pointing more to the Venus retrograde energy again. Again, like I said, might be some blocks with creativity for you, or maybe there's just someone in your circle you're not quite sure you can trust. In the present position, we have the 6 of Swords. So this is actually Aquarius energy here, represents the middle 10 degrees of Aquarius. So if that's where your placement is, this might resonate with you a bit more. But this represents moving forward, trying to get to calm the waters. So you might be trying to distance yourself from this person. Or again, if it is some kind of block with creativity, you might just be taking a bit of a break from that. Be like, okay, I need to just step away from this, take some time off. I'll come back to it later, see if that improves things. And like I said, if that's the case where you are in some kind of a blockage with creativity, look for that to clear up toward the end of the month. All right, in the near future position, we have the 2 of Swords. So another energy of, really just pacing yourself, not really feeling too comfortable moving forward. So I feel like that's really what it is for a lot of you. Just reconsidering things. You're like, all right, I want to take emotion out of this. I just really want to take some time to reflect, figure out what my next best step should be, especially because for you guys, Libra does represent your 9th house, so you could be trying to look at things from a higher plane and like figure out, okay, how do I best want to approach the situation? In the position of your influence on a situation, we have the 8 of Wands. So this is an interesting energy here because the first thing that comes to mind is I'm almost seeing this as a continuation of the 9 of Swords energy, which is to say, usually this points to communication and movement, but I feel like for most of you, this is happening in your heads. Like you might really be overthinking things, cycling things through. Now, for some of you, this can point to the fact that you're going to have Aries or rather Mars, move into the sign of Aries in July, which is your house of communication. So maybe that's saying that, with Mars moving through Pisces, maybe you've just been focused on certain areas of life, but as it moves into your communication house, then you might actually be a little bit more comfortable with moving forward and saying what you have to say. Like I said, whether it be approaching this person, if there's someone in your workplace who might be a bit intimidating to you, or if there's someone in a romantic sense where you're not quite sure you could trust them, or like I said, for some of you as well, if this is you being asked to step into a leadership role, you might not feel comfortable with it right away, but as we move a little bit further into July, you might start to feel a bit more comfort. All right, now in the environment position, we got quite a few cards. We have the Ace of Wands, the Chariot, the Ace of Cups, and the Page of Wands. So I do feel like this is a call to action for you guys if this is representing your energy. So again, if there's some kind of a start that you wanted to have, like we said, the Ace of Wands could definitely point to creativity, could also point to sexuality, of course, as well. But with this, it's saying, okay, if you've had this on your mind, you wanted some kind of a start in a situation, the Chariot might propel you forward. Keep in mind that this represents Cancer energy, and there's going to be a lot of energy in the sign of Cancer through July. The Ace of Cups, for some of you, can be actually, like I said, for some of you, maybe there's just someone you find a bit intimidating, and you haven't been able to approach them, but you want to approach them. So this could just represent making a love offer to them, and with that Page of Wands, we see that you would take action. Now, I do have to say, for others of you, if this is already someone where it's not that they intimidate you, but maybe if it's someone that you feel like you can't trust, I have to say you definitely might want to give that a little more time to feel them out. And the reason I say that, with the Ace of Wands energy to start, and then the Chariot, and the Ace of Cups, it could just be saying that, all right, let's just put it in the most basic way possible. It could just be one of those dynamics where this is someone who wants to get in your pants, right? So, but they might give you the impression, oh yeah, I totally want to have a serious connection with you, right? So they come presenting something like the Ace of Cups, but really, they're just in it for one thing. So yeah, if that's what it is, where you're getting like player vibes from this person, I would definitely say, if you could, give it a little bit of time. Don't necessarily assume, but definitely you might be in the right there to give it a little bit more time to really see how they move in the long term. And then for others of you, if this is creativity, like a creative project of some kind, it looks like it's saying that, you finally will, through Cancer season, like I said, probably as we get closer to Leo season, you might finally feel those blocks start to free up, and then you'll be able to take action. This could even be encouraging some of you to travel. So we do see that with the Six of Swords there. Maybe just change your environment. Doesn't have to be anything major. Even just go for a hike in a different area or something like that, just to get your mind out of that blockage. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Devil, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like this is a combination of the two things, where this is saying that, you might fear that, again, this is just going to be a sexual connection, right? Where you might actually be hoping that, yes, someone might be charming, but you do actually hope that they would want something stable. Like I said, jury's still out on that one. I'm not 100% sure. And keep in mind, we are going to have the retrograde, so you might not get much clarity on that until later in the month. But for others of you, this can just be around work as well. Maybe you're putting a little bit too much energy into that, and you have that risk of burnout. Maybe once that block finally does clear for you guys, you're like, okay, finally my creativity's back on point with the Knight of Cups. Then you're like, okay, now I can finally move forward and actually make something tangible happen. But either way, keep in mind, this is just a hopes or fears. So whether it's positive, negative, however you view it, it's not necessarily an indicator that this is going to play out. It's just that that's what's in your subconscious mind. And I do have to say, we do have the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, so there definitely seems to be some energy where you are looking for a fresh start somewhere. It just might be a bit delayed right now. And in the outcome position, we have Judgment. So yeah, for a lot of you, this can be someone where might be someone from your past that you want to go back around to. For others of you, this could just be an opportunity that maybe you've passed up on in the past, or you just couldn't find the right timing, right? Maybe just the timing was off, and now you get a second opportunity at that. Again, this is not too big of a surprise to see this pop up with the retrograde energy either, but that's what I see there. And for some of you, this can't even be around your work and daily routines too, because that retrograde will be taking place in your 6th house of work and daily routines. So, like I said, for some of you, where it just could just be some kind of stumbling block you hit with creativity in your work sector, that should probably clear up for you guys as we get closer to the end of the month as well. Alright, so moving on to your oracle cards. First, we have No Place Like Home. There's the artwork, and the number is 50. So this card insisted on falling out sideways. So normally I just read the regular messages, but since it's sideways, I'll also read the protection message. That's meant to be read if it comes out upside down. So just keep that in mind. It might come off as a different message from the upright messages, but hopefully at least one of those messages will resonate with you guys. We'll take a look at them now. Okay, essential meanings says authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. The oracle's message: home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your dignity and integrity, aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are. You hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as the observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home. You are safe here in the house of spirit and spirit. So, definitely an interesting message there, and that could be pointing to what I was saying. For some of you, might be that you're being kind of called to step into a bit of a leadership mode, and maybe you're just not really trusting in that. You're not feeling too confident right now, so hopefully that resonated with you in that regard. The relationship message says lovers, friends, and companion animals are at home in your life right now. You are in sync and full of love, and you can be secure in the knowledge that it is reciprocated. Relationships elicit a sense of emotional safety, comfort, and the best aspects of familiarity now. Be home in this relationship. Together you add to the love of the world. So definitely a pretty positive message there, especially if this is just, like I said, if this wasn't a situation where there was someone giving you player vibes and it was just more someone that you felt a little bit intimidated by, looks like you can get some positive movement in that type of connection. Alright, the prosperity message says when you act in an authentic way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what is in your highest good. Your business choices, the investments you make, and the creative projects you immerse yourself in are powerfully on point. Why? Because when you are fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date, both successes and failures, you will see the divinity in all things. Abundance is a natural progression when you experience this kind of authenticity. So definitely a pretty solid message there. And, some of this might just be some old blockages that you need to clear up. And if that's the case, we are going to have that full moon eclipse in Capricorn. It's going to be the last one in that sign for around 9 years or so. So if there's just some subconscious blockages that you might have had for a while, maybe even going back 9, 18 years, possibly, this might be the time when you're finally able to clear those hurdles and move forward. All right. And like I said, I'll read the protection message since it insisted on coming out sideways. And it says, there are times when what is familiar and known is not the best choice. Human beings are memory-driven creatures, and we all look for certainty for what we know, even if the qualities we seek in other people and in external conditions are expressed in unhealthy ways. Avoid being too eager to find home. Choose something unfamiliar and trust that there you will find a new normal that supports your spirit. Remember, if you do what you did, you'll get what you got. Do the opposite of what feels right, even if it's uncomfortable, because what feels right is really what feels familiar, and you will attract and be drawn to the very things you don't want anymore. This time will not be different unless you do something different. So interesting there. I would say that message would probably definitely be for more of you where if you were getting some kind of player vibes from this person, right, and maybe you feel like, okay, I feel like I've been here before. I feel like this is a karmic lesson repeating, right? Or like maybe you're hoping it would turn out one way, but all right, it's probably not. So for those of you who resonated with that storyline, hopefully that message did resonate. All right, and next we'll move on to the second oracle card, which is Grasshopper Spirit. It says, take a leap of faith. There's the artwork, and the number is 30. Okay, it says, right now you are poised to jump up into the next level of your life and move forward into something even better than you could have ever imagined. When Grasshopper Spirit appears, it is a fortuitous time to take a leap into the unknown, for Grasshopper Spirit represents the innovative spirit that says, why not, and has faith in the powers of co-creation. You are being called to trust that this is the right time to go with that idea, relationship, or situation. Take risk, for abundance in all forms will show up for you. Wondrous things await when Grasshopper Spirit appears. You are not going to go backwards, so listen to your intuition rather than your fearful ego that resists any change and clings worriedly to what was. Luck is on your side. Jump up and forward with confidence, for Spirit has so much in store for you if only you take that leap. So definitely a good message there. And like I said, if you guys really just feel like, I'm not really sure about this person, it's okay to give it a little time, especially because you are going to have that eclipse in your 12th house, so you could definitely be in a bit of a fog there. And then, like I said, Venus will be moving direct through your 5th house, and eventually as it gets closer to, right, pretty much when Leo season starts, you might as well say, give or take a day or two on either side of that, Venus will finally be out of its shadow too. So, maybe this is just saying earlier in the month, if you're feeling a little hesitant, then yeah, feel free to give it a little more time, observe that person a little more, and then maybe as you get toward the end of the month, you'll feel a little bit more confident and sure, and be ready to take that leap. All right, and last thing we have is a Mudra card for you guys, and the Mudra you guys got this month is the Bhairava Mudra. There it is there, and the keyword for it is fierceness. So that already sounds like it resonates for those of you where if you are being called to step up into the spotlight in some way, in the leadership position. But let's see if we could get it to focus. There we go. All right. So if you guys want to pause it or take a screenshot, you can. But under benefits, it says calms the mind, serves as an aid to meditation, cuts ego clinging, and imparts the courage needed to fully embrace life as it is. So if this sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of the Mudra in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.